What would you do for $1.7 million? For Margaret Thompson, that thought never crossed her mind. She trusted her family, her daughter, and her husband very deeply. But greed has a way of twisting everything, even love. This is the story of a mother whose kindness led to her undoing, a $1.7 million insurance policy that turned family into enemies, and a betrayal that no one saw coming. Hey there, before we dive into this shocking story of betrayal and greed, I just wanted to quickly say, if you're into content like this and want to see more, consider hitting that subscribe button. It's a small click for you, but it means the world to me and helps me keep creating more for you. Margaret Thompson was the kind of woman you couldn't help but admire. At 67 years old, she had built a life defined by kindness and devotion to her family. She was a widow who had found love again, marrying Robert, a charming and attentive man who had seemed to sweep her off her feet. Her daughter Cassandra, or Cassie, as Margaret affectionately called her, was her pride and joy. Margaret had worked tirelessly to provide Cassie with every opportunity in life, from a prestigious education to financial stability. To Margaret, family was everything, but the same couldn't be said for those she trusted most. Margaret wasn't just generous, she was also prudent. Years ago, she had taken out a $1.7 million life insurance policy, naming Cassie as the sole beneficiary. It was her way of ensuring her daughter's future, a safety net that Margaret believed would protect Cassie long after she was gone. What Margaret didn't realize was that this policy, meant as a gesture of love, would become the catalyst for her downfall. For Cassie, the policy wasn't a gift, it was a temptation. And temptation, when paired with greed, can be a deadly combination. To the outside world, the Thompsons seemed like the ideal family. Their suburban home was inviting, filled with warmth and laughter. Margaret often hosted dinner parties, her table a gathering place for friends and neighbors who admired her selflessness. Cassie, in her early 30s, was seen as a driven, ambitious woman. And Robert, Margaret's husband, played the role of the doting spouse with ease. But behind closed doors, cracks in the family's foundation were beginning to show. Robert's polished charm and Cassie's relentless ambition masked deeper, more troubling motivations. Cassie had always been drawn to wealth, not out of need, but as a ticket to the life of status and luxury she craved. When she discovered her mother's sizable insurance policy, a dangerous idea began to take shape in her mind. What if that money could be hers? At first, it was just a thought, a passing temptation. But soon, it became something more calculated. Cassie confided in Robert, who was no stranger to chasing opportunities, even dubious ones. Their bond deepened, but not out of love. It was fueled by a shared hunger for what they could gain. As their relationship deepened, so did their determination. They devised a plan to kill and make Margaret's death seem natural, to avoid leaving any trace of suspicion behind. Their endgame? To claim the $1.7 million that would change their lives forever. By the way, if you're enjoying this so far, why not subscribe? You'll get more captivating true crime stories just like this, right at your fingertips. Plus, you won't miss a thing. On a cold November evening, the plan was set in motion. Margaret had spent the day volunteering at a local shelter, a testament to her giving spirit. She returned home, tired but content. Unaware of the storm brewing around her, Robert prepared her tea that night, a gesture Margaret found sweet, though it was far from innocent. The tea was laced with a sedative, ensuring Margaret wouldn't wake up again. As Margaret drifted off to sleep, Cassie and Robert worked to stage her death as peaceful and natural. But even the most careful plans can fall apart. When paramedics arrived the next morning, Cassie's performance as a devastated, grieving daughter was almost flawless. Tears streamed down her face as she clung to Robert, who played the role of a devastated husband with equal conviction. But the medical examiner found something odd, traces of a powerful sedative in Margaret's system. Detectives began to dig deeper, starting with Margaret's financial records. They discovered the life insurance policy and its staggering value, which raised immediate suspicions. The more investigators uncovered, the clearer it became that Margaret's death wasn't a tragic accident, it was a carefully orchestrated crime. Soon, the bond between Cassie and Robert raised eyebrows. Neighbors had seen them together in questionable situations. Phone records revealed late-night calls between the two, and financial statements showed Cassie making large, unexplained withdrawals in the months leading up to Margaret's death. Piece by piece, investigators uncovered a chilling conspiracy, a betrayal rooted in greed and deceit. Under mounting pressure, Robert broke down. In his confession, he painted Cassie as the mastermind, though she denied it, claiming he manipulated her. Cassie, however, denied everything, accusing Robert of coercion and manipulation. But her protestations fell flat in the face of overwhelming evidence, including DNA samples and witness testimonies. The truth was out. The two people Margaret trusted most had conspired to end her life, all for a payout they believed would solve their problems. The trial was a spectacle, drawing nationwide attention. Prosecutors laid bare a story of betrayal, greed, and cold-blooded murder. Witness after witness testified to Cassie's manipulative nature and Robert's willingness to go along with her plans. The jury deliberated for just a few hours